State of the Union time. So I figured do this, if we're going to do something that's ill-inducing, we should do it with like, do it as together, all share.
You're a little choppy.
Lives. I'm going to share this here as we will begin shortly. Double check. I'm copying you probably a little bit, but I don't know that I'm. You sound fine.
Yeah, you sound like you're skipping out every other syllable.
What do you think? Are you ready for the State of the Union?
Yeah, let me use the can first.
Let's see. I'm out crazy on. Oh, Mike anymore? Okay, what about now? Hey, there we go. I think I'm back. I had the wrong input. We have the yeah, still no State of the Union. He must be walking around, shaking hands, all that fun stuff. Hopefully, we'll have a State of the Union here momentarily. Hi, Benji. What?
Hey, Benji.
All right. Wonder if we'll have a be up pretty soon, you would think. I'm on the official White House channel. Let's go ahead and refresh. Maybe something is up. Yeah. You refresh. Sure.
Not yet.
And there was this one.
Nope, still. We'll begin shortly.
I got to turn the music off.
Yeah, we might turn the music off.
Wasn't me.
That whole copyright thing. They're a little touchy about that.
Because we're live. What's that? Are you watching the front or checking your job? I'm here.
Well, there is stuff going on, so they're not. I don't know why the YouTube. Oh, there we go. Okay, now we're getting something. All right. Here we go. Okay.
Everyone stands up in a pomp and circumstance. Hey, it's the same guy as last time.
Yep. Of course, we can't hear anything.
Some master at arms grand announcement. Mr. Speaker, President Backstage.
Right. Okay. Oh,
except that's not him.
Volume up. Maybe if we turn the volume up, we can hear it. I don't know. And of course, my volume's not. We checked the volume just a minute ago, and now it's not working.
Did I hear you?
Oh, no, the speech.
Oh.
Oh, okay, now it looks it's coming out. Oh my goodness. Okay, why can't we hear it? We heard it earlier. We heard the video earlier. Why can't we hear it now? I just don't understand. Okay, let's try and reshare this. Hey, why is it only me? Hi, Jody.
Hey.
I can use
We got all the echoes now. All right, mute that. Get Jody on stream. Yay!
Hey.
Share screen.
Kill that light.
And entire screen and share the audio. And we want to share that screen. And there we go. But of course we have no sound. Well, it's still just everybody standing around. So. Why?
Easy day.
Yes, no. I did today to bear moose assembly.
Huh?
She enjoyed very much part of the plans. We watched Maui, and we're leaving.
Why is there two of them? This worked 10 minutes ago. And now all of a sudden it doesn't. All right. I think we got it. Hey, we got sound now all of a sudden for some reason.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah.
Exciting. Oh, there's something going on.
All right, still walking through the crowd. What's that?
I'm just shouting. Help.
No.
I felt like
Or like yay, fine.
Phone out generation. Thought. Oh, wait.
All right. What else is going on? I think we've got an echo online, but we'll see.
I'm hearing an echo. Not from this to us.
I don't know why though. Does it make sense?
Is it now? Nope.
Yeah, it doesn't make any sense at all. There should be no echo like that. Still working its way through the damn thing. Oh, four more years.
You have a little scooter.
Yeah, right. Get there.
Like they're waiting line up. Punch.
What's going on? What's up?
I'll be right back.
Oh. Okay.
Tony. Jill.
I don't know if Mr. Biden's going to have an echo or not.
Good evening.
And that echo's weird. I don't know where it's coming from.
Good evening.
No, see that doesn't have an echo.
Mr.
I
Speaker,
can't hear you at all, Michael.
Madam Vice President, members of Congress, my fellow Americans. In January 1941,
I think you're
Franklin
muted.
Roosevelt came to this chamber to speak to the nation, and he said, I address you at a moment unprecedented in the history of the Union. Hitler was on the march. War was raging in Europe. President Roosevelt's purpose was to wake up Congress and alert the American people that this was no ordinary time. Freedom and democracy were under assault in the world. Tonight, I come to this same chamber to address the nation. Now, it's we who face an unprecedented moment in the history of the Union. And yes, my purpose tonight is to wake up the Congress and alert the American people that this is no ordinary moment either. Not since President Lincoln and the Civil War have freedom and democracy been under assault at home as they are today. What makes our moment rare
What's that?
is that freedom and democracy are under attack both at home and overseas at the very same time. Overseas, Putin of Russia is on the march, invading Ukraine and sowing chaos throughout Europe and beyond. If anybody in this room thinks Putin will stop Ukraine, I assure you he will not.
That's something to pop out.
But Ukraine can stop Putin.
Where's live?
Ukraine can stop Putin if we stand with Ukraine and provide the weapons that needs to defend itself. That is all. That is all Ukraine is asking. They're not asking for American soldiers. In fact, there are no American soldiers at war in Ukraine, and I'm determined to keep it that way. But now, assistance to Ukraine is being blocked by those who want to walk away from our world leadership. It wasn't long ago when a Republican president named Ronald Reagan thundered, "Mr. Gorbachev, tear down this wall." Now, my predecessor, a former Republican president, tells Putin, quote, "Do whatever the hell you want." That's a quote.
Half truth.
A former president actually said that.
I can't hear my
Bowing
mic at
down to
all.
Russian leaders,
For
I
some
think it's
reason.
outrageous, it's dangerous, and it's unacceptable.
Yep.
America is a founding member of NATO, the military alliance of democratic nations created after World War II to prevent war and keep the peace. And today, we've made NATO stronger than ever. We welcomed Finland to the alliance last year. And just this morning, Sweden officially joined, and their minister is here tonight. Come here, stand up. Welcome. Welcome, welcome, welcome.
You still have a sound.
Finland. Whoa, what happened?
I have no sound.
We lost everything, didn't we?
History is watching. If the United States walks away,
On
put Ukraine at risk.
I'm going to assume lies blackout.
The free world will be at risk, emboldening others.
Yeah, I don't either. I don't.
To do
It
us
went
harm.
away.
My message to President Putin, who I've known for a long time, is simple. We will not walk away. We will not bow down. I will not bow down. In a literal sense, history is watching. History is watching. Just like history watched 3 years ago on January 6th, when insurrectionists stormed this very Capitol and placed a dagger to the throat of American democracy. Many of you were here on that darkest of days. We all saw with our own eyes the insurrectionists were not patriots.
Was that a lie?
Stop the
Was that a
peaceful
full lie?
Lie.
to overturn the will of the people. January 6th lies about the 2020 election and the plots to steal the election posed a gravest threat to U.S. democracy since the Civil War. But they failed.
Ooh, we up to three?
America stood.
Realize.
America stood strong and democracy prevailed. We must be honest. The threat to democracy must be defended. My predecessor and some of you here seek to bury the truth about January 6th.
The threat
I will not do that. This is the moment to speak the truth and to bury the lies. Here's the simple truth. You can't love your country only when you win. As I've done ever since being elected to office, I ask all of you without regard to party to join together and defend democracy. Remember your oath of office is defending against all threats, foreign and domestic. Respect.
That's scary.
Respect free and fair elections. Restore trust in our institutions. And make clear political violence has absolutely no place in America.
Let me be clear.
Yeah, what, because having your front yard, you're upset about it now? And happening in our yard
It's not
for hundreds of years.
hyperbole to suggest history is watching. We're watching. Your children and grandchildren will read about this day and what we do. History is watching another assault on freedom. Joining us tonight is Latoya Beasley, a social worker from Birmingham, Alabama. 14 months ago, she and her husband welcomed a baby girl thanks to the miracle of IVF. She scheduled treatments to have that second child, but the Alabama Supreme Court shut down IVF treatments across the state, unleashed by a Supreme Court decision overturning Roe v. Wade. She was told her dream would have to wait. What her family had got through should never have happened. Unless Congress acts, it could happen again. So tonight, let's stand up for families like hers. To my friends across the aisle, don't keep this waiting any longer. Guarantee the right to AVF. Guarantee it nationwide. Like most Americans, I believe Roe v. Wade got it right. I thank Vice President Harris for being an incredible leader, defending reproductive freedom, and so much more. Thank you. My predecessor came to office determined to see Roe v. Wade overturned. He's the reason.
Oh my God. This is insane.
Kate, that her own life and her ability to have children in the future were at risk if she didn't act.
Think you'll hear her
Because
mumbling.
Texas law banned her ability to act. Kate and her husband had to leave the state to get what she needed. What her family got through should have never happened as well, but it's happening in too many others. There are state laws banning the freedom to choose, criminalizing doctors, forcing survivors of rape and incest to leave their states to get the treatment they need. Many of you in this chamber and my predecessor are promising to pass a national ban on reproductive freedom. My God, what freedom else would you take away? Look, it's a decision to overturn Roe v. Wade. The Supreme Court majority wrote the following, and with all due respect, justices, women are not without electoral power. Electoral or political power. You're about to realize just how much you're right about that. Clearly, those bragging about overturning Roe v. Wade have no clue about the power of women. But they found out when reproductive freedom was on the ballot. We won in 2022 and 2020, and we'll win again in 2024. If you, the American people, send me a Congress that supports the right to choose, I promise you, I'll restore Roe v. Wade as the law of the land again.
Had the wrong me up there.
Oh, look at that relic.
America cannot go back. I'm here tonight to show what I believe is the way forward, because I know how far we come. 4 years ago next week,
Still got an echo, though.
the country was hit by the worst pandemic and the worst economic crisis in
Don't
the century.
understand.
Remember the fear, record losses. Remember the spikes in crime and the murder rate, raging virus.
Yeah, you
Took more
remember.
than 1 million American lives, of loved ones, millions left behind. A mental health crisis of isolation and loneliness. A president, my predecessor, failed the most basic presidential duty that he owes to American people, the duty to care.
Bye.
I think that's unforgivable. I came to office determined to get us through one of the toughest periods in the nation's history. We have. It doesn't make news, but in 1,000 cities and towns, the American people are writing the greatest comeback story never told. So let's tell the story here. Tell it here and now. America's comeback is building the future of American possibilities, building an economy from the middle out and the bottom up, not the top down.
Half
Investing
truth.
in all America, in all Americans, to make sure everyone has a fair shot, and we leave no one behind.
Bye.
The pandemic no longer controls our lives. The vaccine that
Are we
saves
with
us
five?
from COVID are
And
now
another
used
truth.
to beat cancer, turning setback into comeback. That's what America does. That's what America does.
My goodness. 6 now.
Folks, my inherited economy is on the brink. Now our economy is literally the envy of the world. 15 million new jobs in just 3 years, a record.
Half truth.
Unemployment at 50-year lows. Record 16 million Americans are starting small businesses, and each one is a literal act of hope. With historic job growth and small business growth for Black and Hispanics and Asian Americans, 800,000 new manufacturing jobs in America and counting. Where is it written we can't be the manufacturing capital of the world? We are, and we will. More people have health insurance today. More people have health insurance today than ever before. The racial wealth gap is as small as it's been in 20 years. Wages keep going up. Inflation keeps coming down. Inflation has dropped from 9% to 3%, the lowest in the world, and tending lower.
Lie.
The landing is and will be soft. And now, instead of importing foreign products and exporting American jobs, we're exporting American products and creating American jobs. Right here in America, where they belong.
I call that half-truth.
And it takes time, but the American people are beginning to feel it. Consumer studies show consumer confidence is soaring. Buy America.
I don't feel it.
Has been the law of the land since the 1930s. Past administrations, including my predecessor, including some Democrats as well.
Yeah, right. Exactly.
Failed to buy
Small
America.
business.
Not anymore.
If
On my watch,
five
federal
jobs.
projects that you fund, like helping build American roads, bridges, and highways, will be made with American products and built by American workers.
That's what I want to happen.
Have you ever seen
We're creating good paying American jobs.
That's gaslighting.
And thanks to our CHIPS and Science Act, the United States is investing more in research and development than ever before. During the pandemic, a shortage of semiconductors, chips, that drove up the price of everything from cell phones to automobiles. And by the way, we invented those chips right here in America. Well, instead of having to import them, private companies are now investing billions of dollars to build new chip factories here in America, creating tens of thousands of jobs. Many of those jobs paying $100,000 a year don't require
Lays.
Yeah, right.
In fact, my policies have attracted $650 billion in private sector investment in clean energy, advanced manufacturing, creating tens of thousands of jobs here in America. And thanks.
That was kind of
Thanks to
yellow
our
on
bipartisan
there.
infrastructure
We
law,
had a yellow one.
46,000 new projects have been announced all across your communities.
Maybe not.
And by the way, I noticed some of you strongly voted against it, or they're cheering on that money coming in. I like it. I'm with you. I'm with you. And if any of you don't want that money in your district, just let me know. Modernizing our roads and bridges, ports and airports, public transit systems. Removing poisonous lead pipes so every child can drink clean water without risk of brain damage. Providing affordable high-speed internet for every American, no matter where you live, urban, suburban, or rural communities, in red states and blue states. Record investments in tribal communities. Because of my investment in family farms, because I invested in family farms led by my Secretary of Agriculture, who knows more about this than anybody I know, we're better able to stay in the family for those farms and their children and grandchildren won't have to leave home to make a living. It's transformative. The great comeback story is Belvedere, Illinois, home to an auto plant for nearly 60 years. Before I came to office, the plant was on its way to shutting down. Thousands of workers feared for their livelihoods. Hope was fading. Then I was elected to office, and we raised the Belvedere repeatedly with auto companies, knowing unions would make all the difference. The UAW worked like hell to keep the plant open and get these jobs back, and together we succeeded. Instead of auto factories shutting down, auto factories reopening, and new state-of-the-art battery factories being built to power those cars there at the same. The folks of Belvedere, I say, instead of your town being left behind, your community is moving forward again. Because instead of watching auto jobs in the future go overseas, 4,000 union jobs with higher wages are building the future in Belvedere right here in America. Here tonight is UAW President Shawn Fain, a great friend and a great labor leader. Shawn, where are you? Stand up. And Dawn Sims, a third-generation worker, UAW worker at Belvedere. Shawn, I was proud to be the first president to stand on the picket line, and today, Dawn has a good job in her hometown, providing stability for her family and pride and dignity as well. Showing once again, Wall Street didn't build America. They're not bad guys. They didn't build it, though. The middle class built the country, and unions built the middle class.
The lower class built it. We're also home.
You all right?
Is that not
I say to the
gaslighting?
American people, when America gets knocked down, we get back up.
Can you hear Michael when you talk?
We keep
Can
going.
you hear Michael? Can you
That's
hear
America.
Me? You can hear me in your headphones when I talk like this. Okay, I can't.
That's
I can't
you,
hear
the
Michael.
American
I can't hear
people.
you.
Can't hear me?
It's because of you America's coming
hear
back.
me
It's
either.
because of you our future is brighter. It's because of you that tonight we can proudly say the state of our union is strong and getting
Well, hey,
stronger.
the echo's gone. The echo is gone on the thing.
Oh,
Finally. But I still can't hear you guys. But
great.
I hear Jody.
Clear.
Tonight,
Clear.
Tonight, I want to talk about the future of possibilities that we can build together.
And he almost
A
said
future
pot.
where the days of trickle-down economics are over, and the wealthy and the biggest corporations no longer get all the tax breaks. And by the way, I understand corporations. I come from a state that has more corporations invested than every one of your states in the United States combined. And I represented it for 36 years. I'm not anti-corporation, but I grew up in a home where trickle-down economics didn't put much on my kitchen table. That's why I determined to turn things around so middle class does well. When they do well, the poor are way up and the wealthy still do very well. We all do well. And there's more to do to make sure you're feeling the benefits of all we're doing. Americans pay more for prescription drugs than anywhere in the world. It's wrong, and I'm ending it.
Why?
Why didn't you do it earlier?
Was the
11.
law that I proposed and signed, not one of you Republican buddies voted for it. We finally beat Big Pharma.
Be a bit.
I mean,
Instead of
has
paying
this guy,
$400
he hasn't
a
said
month or thereabouts
anything.
for insulin.
Yeah.
for
He hasn't
diabetes,
said
it only
anything
costs
at all.
$10 to make.
No, it's
He's not
all-
saying
You could pay $35
anything.
a month now and
It
still
is
make
all
healthy
fluff.
We
profit.
finally beat Big Pharma. By giving them billions of dollars? What?
But what to do next?
No, he's talking
I
about
want
in
to cap the
states.
cost of insulin
Treated in
$35 a month for every American who needs it. Everyone.
I went 10 for 2 and got it every hand.
For years, people have talked about it, but finally we got it done and gave Medicare the power to negotiate lower prices on prescription drugs, just like the VA is able to do for veterans. That's not just saving seniors money, it's saving taxpayers money. We cut the federal deficit by $160 billion.
Isn't it like a zillion
Because
dollars?
Medicare-
in debt?
We'll no longer have to pay
That's
those
not what the
exorbitant
deficit
prices
is.
to Big
Deficit
Pharma.
is
This year,
how
Medicare
much
is
your
negotiating lower
government's
prices for
taking
some of the
in
costliest
by
drugs
how
on the
much it's
market
spending.
to treat everything from heart disease to arthritis. It's now time to go further and give Medicare the power to negotiate lower prices for 500 different drugs over the next decade. They're making a lot of money, guys. And they'll still be extremely profitable. Will not only save lives, it will save taxpayers another $200 billion.
Oh, gosh.
Starting next year, the same law caps total prescription drug costs for seniors on Medicare at $2,000 a year, even for expensive cancer drugs that cost $10,000, $12,000, $15,000. Now I want to cap prescription drug costs at $2,000 a year for everyone. Folks,
And this is the same stuff up we hear all the
I'm
time,
going to
every
get in
year.
trouble for saying that, but if you want to get an Air Force One and fly to Toronto, Berlin, Moscow, even Moscow, probably. And bring your prescription with you, and I promise you I'll get it for you for 40% the cost you're paying now. Same company,
Okay.
same drug, same place.
That was a glitch and
Folks,
unintelligible mumbling.
Affordable Care Act, the old Obamacare, it's still a very big deal.
It's still a big deal. Oh.
Over 100 million of you can no longer be denied health insurance because of pre-existing condition. But my predecessor, and many in this chamber, want to take this prescription drug away by repealing the Affordable Care Act. I'm not going to let that happen. We stopped you 50 times before, and we'll stop you again. In fact, I'm not only protecting it, I'm expanding it. We enacted tax credits of $800 per person per year, reduce health care costs for millions of working families. That tax credit expires next year. I want to make that savings permanent.
Yay.
To state the obvious, women are more than half our population, but research on women's health has always been underfunded. That's why we're launching the first ever White House initiative on women's health research, led by Jill, doing an incredible job as First Lady.
Oh. Well, I like that there's a woman, but maybe a... Oh, is she a doctor?
No.
No.
Well, she is a PhD. She's not a medical doctor.
For $12 billion to transfer women's health research and benefit millions of lives all across America. I know the cost of housing is so important to you. Inflation keeps coming down, mortgage rates will come down as well, and the Fed acknowledges that. But I'm not waiting. I want to provide an annual tax credit that will give Americans $400 a month for the next 2 years as mortgage rates come down, to put toward their mortgages when they buy their first home or trade up for a little more space. Just for 2 years. And my administration is also eliminating title insurance on federally backed mortgages. When you refinance your home, you can save $1,000 or more as a consequence. For millions of renters, we're cracking down on big landlords who use antitrust law, who break antitrust laws by price fixing and driving up rents.
Glitch.
We've cut red tape so builders can get federally financing, which is already helping build a record 1.7 million new housing units nationwide. Now pass.
Why don't we crack down on the corporations that are buying up all the single-family homes?
Affordable homes.
How about we crack down on them?
Rents down.
Straight up. Why can't a middle class of family afford a house? Pretty. Should.
To remain the strongest economy in the world, we need to have the best education system in the world.
Don't.
And I suspect all of you, want to give every child, a good start by providing access to preschool for 3 and 4 years old. You know, I think I pointed out last year. That children coming from broken homes where there's no books, they're not read to, not spoken to very often, start school, kindergarten, or first grade, having heard 1 million fewer words spoken. Well, studies show that children who go to preschool are nearly 50% more likely to finish high school, go on to earn a 2- and 4-year degree, no matter what their background is.
That makes sense. Thank don't think the poor babies don't get talked to. Their abuela talks to them just
I met
fine.
a year and a half ago with the leaders of the business
Grandma.
roundtable. They were mad that they were angry. I think, well, they were discussing why I wanted to spend money on education. I pointed out to them as vice president, I met with over I think it was 182 of those folks. Don't hold me to the exact number.
Yeah.
And
a lot of that going on.
What they need most, the CEOs. And you've had the same experience on both sides of the aisle. They say a better educated workforce, right?
Ooh, I finally heard Michael.
And I say, I come from Delaware.
I know, right?
I'm the 8th largest corporation in the world. And every new enterprise they bought, they educated the workforce to that enterprise. But none of you do that anymore. Why are you angry with me providing you the opportunity for the best educated workforce in the world?
Can I hear you? Say something.
I think you're right.
I think you're
I
awesome.
want to expand high-quality tutoring.
Right.
And summer learning.
I can't hear you in the mic in here, but
read by third
at least
grade.
I could hear. At least I heard Michael that time. Have to turn your mic monitoring on here.
I'm also connecting local businesses and high schools so students get hands-on experience and a path to good paying job whether or not they go to college. And I want to make sure the college is more affordable. Let's continue increasing the Pell Grants to working and middle-class families and increase record investments in HBCUs and minority-serving institutions, including Hispanic institutions.
Hispanic institution.
When I was told I couldn't universally just change the way in which we dealt with student loans, I fixed 2 student loan programs that already existed to reduce the burden of student debt for nearly 4 million Americans, including nurses, firefighters, and others in public service. Like Keenan Jones, a public educator from Minnesota, who's here with us tonight. Keenan, where are you? Keenan, thank you. He's educated hundreds of students so they can go to college. Now he's able to help, after debt forgiveness, get his own daughter to college.
Did you, on another note, did you hear about the Diamond High School guy?
Such relief is good for the economy because folks are now able to buy a home, start a business,
Just wait till you hear about this.
While we're at it, I want to give public school teachers a raise.
Yay! Michael can like that.
And by the way, the first couple of years, we cut the deficit. Now, let me speak to the question of fundamental fairness for all Americans. I've been delivering real results in fiscally responsible ways. We've already cut the federal deficit. We've already cut the federal deficit over $1 trillion.
Lie.
Oh my gosh,
I signed a bipartisan deal to cut another $1 trillion in the next decade. It's my goal to cut the federal deficit another $3 trillion by making big corporations and very wealthy finally beginning to pay their fair share. Look,
that doesn't. That fucking fair share doesn't mean anything.
Millions of bucks. That's
means
great.
Nothing.
Just pay your fair share.
Absolutely
in taxes.
nothing. Fair share.
Just bluff.
Are the CEOs not paying payroll taxes?
It's how we invest things to make this country great. Healthcare, education, defense, and so much more. But here's the deal. The last administration enacted a $2 trillion tax cut, overwhelmingly benefit the top 1%, the very wealthy and the biggest corporations, and exploded the federal deficit.
That's not how deficit works.
They added more to the national debt than any presidential term in American history. Check the numbers. Folks at home, does anybody really think the tax code is fair? No. Do you really think the wealthy and big corporations need another $2 trillion tax break? No. I sure don't. I'm going to keep fighting like hell to make it fair. Under my plan, nobody earning less than $400,000 a year will pay an additional penny in federal taxes. Nobody, not one penny.
Not one penny.
They haven't yet.
Not one penny. Not one penny.
Lie.
The child tax credit I passed during the pandemic cut taxes for millions of working families and cut child poverty in half.
Oh my God.
Restore that child tax credit. No child should go hungry in this country. The way to make the tax code fair
20. Yep, 20.
is to make big corporations and the very wealthy begin to pay their fair share.
Oh, the fair share.
Remember in 2020,
I should have put fair share as one of our
55
things.
The biggest companies in America made $40 billion and paid zero in federal income tax. Zero.
Lie.
Not anymore. Thanks to the law I wrote and we signed, big companies have to pay a minimum of 15%. But that's still less than working people pay in federal taxes. It's time to raise corporate minimum tax to at least 21%.
Tax the payroll.
So every big corporation finally begins to pay their fair share. I also want to end tax breaks for big pharma, big oil, private jets, massive executive pay when it's only supposed to be $1 million.
Are you looking up the diamond thing?
They can pay them $20 million if they want.
Did you find it?
$1 million. End it now. You know, there are 1,000 billionaires in America. You know what the average federal tax is for those billionaires? No. They're making great sacrifices, 8.2%. That's far less than the vast majority of Americans pay. No billionaire should pay a lower federal tax rate than a teacher, a sanitation worker, or a nurse.
Oh my goodness.
I propose a minimum tax for billionaires of 25%, just 25%. You know what that would raise? That would raise $500 billion over the next 10 years. And imagine what that could do for America. Imagine a future with affordable child care. Millions of families can get they need to go to work to help grow the economy. Imagine a future with paid leave, because no one should have to choose between working and taking care of their sick family member. Imagine the future of home care.
Texted it to you. Sorry, it was like doing the
living with disabilities.
Whatever that Apple
so
thing is, the upload.
And family caregivers can finally
Heck's the name of that?
Deserve. Tonight, let's all
Airdrop?
agree once again to stand up for seniors. Many of my friends on the other side of the aisle want to put Social Security on the chopping block.
None of this stuff
if anyone
is.
Here tries to cut
this
Social
doesn't
Security
matter.
And raise the retirement age, I will stop you.
I haven't been changing the gaslight, but you're right. 3 is a good number.
The working people.
Yes.
The working people who built this country pay more into Social Security than millionaires and billionaires do. It's not fair. We have 2 ways to go.
This speech has been nothing. It's been about none of the issues that we have facing the country today.
That's the proposal.
Nothing.
Oh, no.
None of this it matters what he's talking about.
Tax cut? I kind of thought that's what your plan was. Well, that's good to hear. You're not going to cut another $2 trillion for the super wealth. That's good to hear. I'll protect and strengthen Social Security and make the wealthy pay their fair share.
This is the same stuff he said, and these people have said for years.
Look. Too many corporations raise prices to pad their profits, charging more and more for less and less. That's why we're cracking down on corporations that engage in price gouging and deceptive pricing, from food to health care to housing.
Now he's blaming
snack companies think
inflation on
if they change the size of the bag,
corporations.
put a hell of a lot fewer, same size bag, put fewer chips in it. No, I'm not joking. It's called shrinkflation. Pass Bobby Casey's bill and stop this. I really mean it. You probably all saw that commercial on Snickers bars. You get charged the same amount, and you got about, 10% fewer Snickers in it. Look, I'm also getting rid of junk fees. Those hidden fees at the end of your bill that are there without your knowledge. My administration announced we're cutting credit card late fees from $32 to $8. Banks and credit card companies are allowed to charge what it costs them to instigate the collection. And that's more a hell of a lot like $8 and 30-some dollars. They don't like it.
That was unintelligible mumbling.
But I'm saving American families $20 billion a year with all the junk fees I'm eliminating.
Jody, you're getting $20 billion. No, $40 billion.
Folks
That's
at home.
Hey!
That's why the banks are so mad. It's $20 billion in profit. I'm not stopping there. My administration has proposed rules to make cable, travel, utilities, and online ticket sellers tell you the total price up front so there are no surprises.
All right.
It matters.
Jody, is one of the biggest problems that you face in life is service fees when you buy tickets.
My team began serious negotiations with a bipartisan group of senators.
Oh,
How much does that affect your life?
With the toughest set of border security reforms we've ever seen.
one bit.
Oh, you don't think so? Oh, you don't like that bill, huh? That conservatives got together and said it was a good bill? I'll be darned. That's amazing.
So that's gaslighting, and that's the Republicans are evil.
1,500 more security agents and officers, 100 more immigration judges to help tackle the backload of 2 million cases, 4,300 more asylum officers, and new policies so they can resolve cases in 6 months instead of 6 years now.
He has the power to immigration. He absolutely. Executive office is supposed to enforce the laws.
To significantly increase
he has the power to enforce the laws that we have. He doesn't need a new law to enforce the border. Yeah, but it's you got to pass this bill that sends money to Ukraine.
It will also give me and any new
to enforce the border.
New emergency authority to temporarily shut down the border.
That's exactly what we should do.
Migrants at the border is overwhelming. The Border Patrol Union has endorsed this bill. The Federal Chamber of Commerce is, yeah. You're saying low. Look at the facts. I know.
What?
I know you know how to read.
That's some gaslighting right there.
I believe that given the opportunity for a majority in the House and Senate would endorse the bill as well, the majority right now. But unfortunately, politics has derailed this bill so far. I'm told my predecessor called members of Congress and the Senate to demand they block the bill. He feels political win. He viewed it as a political win for me and a political loser for him. It's not about him. It's not about me. I'd be a winner. Not really.
Not really. That's a glitch.
Oh, yeah. Glitching and mumbling.
Lincoln Riley, an innocent young woman who was killed by an illegal. That's right. But how many of thousands of people being killed by illegals? To her parents, I say, my heart goes out to you, having lost children
myself. People are fighting in the...
I understand.
There's shit going on in the gallery right now.
There is.
Change the dynamic at the border. People pay these smugglers $8,000 to get across the border because they know if they get by and let into the country, it's 6 to 8 years before they have a hearing, and it's worth taking the chance of the $8,000. But
why is that though?
If it's only 6 weeks, the idea is it's highly unlikely that people will pay that money and come all that way, knowing that they'll be able to be kicked out quickly. Folks, I would respectfully suggest my Republican friends owe it to the American people, get this bill done. We need to act now.
More mumbling. Are you still reading that?
No.
Oh, okay. Are you just done with this?
No, I'm listening.
Okay.
I need to see it.
And if my predecessor is watching, Instead of paying politics and pressuring members of Congress to block the bill, join me in telling the Congress to pass it. We can do it together. But that's what he apparently, here's what he will not do. I will not demonize immigrants saying they are poison in the blood of our country. I will not separate families. I will not ban people because of their faith. Unlike my predecessor on my first day in office, I introduced a comprehensive bill to fix our immigration system. Take a look at it. It has all these and more. Secure the border. Provide a pathway to citizenship for dreamers. And so much more. But unlike my predecessor,
he's getting a little bush mouth.
I know who we are as Americans.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
We're the only nation
drugs are
in the
wearing
world
off.
with a heart and soul that draws from old and new. Home to Native Americans whose ancestors have been here for thousands of years. Home to people of every place, from every place on earth. They came freely. Some came in chains. Some came when famine struck, like my ancestral family in Ireland.
God.
Some to flee persecution, to chase dreams that are impossible anywhere but here in America. That's America. And we all come from somewhere, but we're all Americans.
So let's let everybody that wants to come here just come here. Anybody that wants to, just come on. We got room for all of you, and we got resources for all of you, right?
We have a simple choice. We
Just
can
come on.
fight about fixing the border, or we can fix it. I'm ready to fix it. Send me the border bill now.
You're 3 years late.
Yeah. You have the power to fix it right now.
Moment in history. Happened 59 years ago today in Selma, Alabama. Hundreds of foot soldiers for justice marched across the Edmund Pettus Bridge, named after the Grand Dragon of the Ku Klux Klan, to claim their fundamental right to vote. They were beaten, they were bloody, and left for dead. Our late friend and former colleague, John Lewis, was on that march.
What was
We
that?
miss him.
I was just waiting for him to tell us his role in that.
Oh, yeah, he was there. I was there.
Joining us tonight, our other marchers, both in the gallery and on the floor, including Betty Mae Fikes, known as the voice of Selma, the daughter of gospel singers and preachers. She sang songs of prayer and protest on that bloody Sunday to help shake the nation's conscience. 5 months later, the Voting Rights Act passed and was signed into law. Thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. But 59 years later, there are forces taking us back in time. Voter suppression.
Here we go.
Election subversion. Unlimited dark money. Extreme gerrymandering. John Lewis was a great friend to many of us here. But if you truly want to honor him and all the heroes who marched with him, then it's time to do more than talk. Pass the Freedom to Vote Act. The John Lewis Voting Rights Act.
What?
And stop denying another core value of America, our diversity across American life. Banning books.
You guys heard of ghost
Instead of erasing history,
donations?
history. I want to protect fundamental
Oh
rights.
boy. Okay.
Pass the Equality Act.
Michael, you know what a ghost donation is?
My message to transgender Americans.
You've seen that?
I have your back.
They see money that we don't know where it's coming from.
Pass the PRO Act.
Yeah.
For workers' rights.
You'll see donations from people.
Raise the federal
One
minimum wage.
70-year-old lady
Because every
in
worker has a right to a decent living
somewhere
more
out
than $7
west
an hour.
donate $30-some thousand to different
Also making history by
organizations
confronting the climate
That
crisis.
you
throughout the
imagine they did
year.
not ever have.
Okay.
I don't think any
Right.
of you think there's no.
Yeah, she'd imagine, and then so you would go to her house and say, "Hey, did you donate this money?" And she'd be
I
like,
take the
"No,
most significant
I
action
didn't
ever
donate
by Congress
this."
in the history
They
of the
don't
world.
know that they're donating. People are.
Cutting our
It's
carbon
happening.
emissions
It's not
in
just.
half by
It's happening
2030.
on both sides,
Why
but
are
it's
they not
happening.
noticing their money is
Clean
gone?
energy jobs like the IBW.
They're not doing the donation.
Their
500,000.
money's
Never had
going
that
away.
No.
They never had the
Other
money.
people are making the donations
Conservative.
in
Under
their
their
name.
name, so they're stealing
30%
the
of Americans'
name.
lands and
They're
waters by
making
2030.
hundreds of donations, hundreds and
Taking action
hundreds
So I
of
could be donating
donations.
to the
environmental
Ku Klux
justice
Klan.
fence line communities smothered.
No,
under legacy
it's basically to act blue
pattern
and
after the
different.
I know, but I'm saying
Oh yeah,
basically it's like they're stealing my name.
Oh, yeah.
It's their money.
The
right.
forefront
And-
of our clean
Yeah,
energy
and
future. I'll triple that number in a
and
decade.
it's a huge thing. I will dig up some things that we can look at that on
State the
one of the
obvious.
other streams we do.
All
I'll show you.
Americans deserve the freedom to be safe.
It's insane. It's
And America
insanity.
is safer today than when I took office. Year before I took office, murder rates went up 30%. 30% they went up.
Whoa, what was that?
The biggest increase in history.
What in the world?
It was then, through my American Rescue Plan, which every American voted against, I might
Caught
add,
on them?
we made the largest
Somebody went
investment
off.
in public safety ever. Last year, the murder rate saw the sharpest decrease in history. Violent crime fell to one of its lowest levels in more than 50 years. But we have more to do. We have to help cities invest in more community police officers, more mental health workers, more community violence intervention. Give communities the tool to crack down on gun crime, retail crime, and carjacking. Keep building trust, as I've been doing by taking executive action on police reform and calling for it to be the law of the land. Directing my cabinet to review the federal classification of marijuana and expunging thousands of convictions for the mere possession, because no one should be jailed for simply using or have it on their record.
Okay, I get on with that.
Take on crimes and domestic
I agree
violence.
there.
That was a good thing.
I'm ramping up the federal enforcement of the Violence Against Women Act that I proudly wrote when I was a senator.
Go
So
ahead
we
and
can
look up when the
finally-
last time the federal
finally
government
end the scourge
went
against
after
women in
individual
America.
marijuana users.
Right,
Not
exactly.
dealers, not traffickers, users.
There are
Correct.
kinds of violence I want to stop. With us tonight is
Motherfucker, you did.
Jasmine, whose 9-year-old sister Jackie was murdered with 21 classmates and teachers in an elementary school in Uvalde, Texas. Very soon after that happened, Jill and I went to Uvalde for a couple days. We spent hours and hours with each of the families. We heard their message, so everyone in this room, in this chamber, could hear the same message.
Oh, here we go.
Constant refrain, and I was there for hours meeting with every family. They said, do something. Do something. Well, I did do something by establishing the first ever Office of Gun Violence Prevention in the White House, that the Vice President is leading the charge. Thank you for doing it.
And we've made no progress on it.
Meanwhile,
She couldn't handle the border. She could handle guns now.
Yeah, right.
My predecessor told the NRA he's proud he did nothing on guns when he was president.
Bye.
Yeah,
Another shooting
exactly.
in Iowa recently, he said, when asked what to do about it, he said, just get over it. There's his quote, just get
Why?
over it.
That's
I say,
what?
stop
No.
it. Stop it, stop it, stop it.
Wait, I thought shooting people is illegal.
It
Isn't it?
is. There's a law.
And
I'm proud we beat the
And
NRA when I
felony
signed the
guns
most significant
is
gun
illegal.
safety law in nearly 30 years
I could
because
pull
of
up
this Congress.
hundreds and hundreds
We now must
of
beat the NRA
arrests
again.
in
I'm
big
demanding
cities.
a ban on assault weapons
People
and
are caught
high-capacity
with
magazines.
guns and not charged.
Pass
that's
universal background check.
Well, yeah, it's people
should
that
be
aren't
charged.
supposed to have guns, people
None
that
of
are
it.
felons, that are
None
not
of
supposed to
it.
have guns,
Should be having
will get
guns,
caught
yeah.
with
Second
guns
Amendment for
and not
12
get
years.
charged.
None of
So
this
we need to be very
violates the
strict
Second
on-
Amendment.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Applies to
let's
responsible
enforce
gun
the
owners.
gun laws that make sense. That let's take
You know,
guns
as we
away from
manage
people that aren't
challenges at
supposed to
home, we're
have
also
guns.
managing crises abroad, including in the Middle East. I know the last 5 months have been gut-wrenching.
At least you didn't spend too much time on
for the
that.
Israeli people, for the Palestinian people. And
When's
so
the
many
last
here
time
in
you
America.
bought a firearm that they
This
didn't come
crisis
in and
began
check?
on October 7th with the massacre
Never.
of a terrorist group called Hamas, as you all know.
Yeah.
1,200 innocent people, women and girls, men and boys, slaughtered after enduring sexual violence. The deadliest day of the Jewish people since the Holocaust.
The 7th of October.
Hostages taken. Here in this chamber tonight are families whose loved ones are still being held by Hamas. I pledge to all the families that we will not rest until we bring every one of your loved ones home. We also We will also work around the clock to bring home Evan and Paul, Americans being unjustly detained by the Russians and others around the world. Israel has the right to go after Hamas. Hamas ended this conflict by releasing hostages, laying down arms, could end it by releasing the hostages.
We're getting that's a glitch.
Those responsible for October 7th. But Israel has Israel has a added burden because Hamas hides and operates
intelligible mumbling
like cowards under hospitals, daycare centers, and all the like. Israel also has a fundamental responsibility, though, to protect innocent civilians in Gaza. This war has taken a greater toll on innocent civilians than all previous wars in Gaza combined. More than 30,000 Palestinians have been killed, most of whom are not Hamas. Thousands and thousands of innocent women and children, girls and boys, also orphaned. Nearly 2 million more Palestinians under bombardment or displacement. Homes destroyed, neighborhoods in rubble, cities in ruin, families without food, water, medicine. It's heartbreaking. I've been working nonstop to establish an immediate ceasefire that would last for 6 weeks to get all the prisoners released, all the hostages released, to get the hostages home and ease the intolerable and humanitarian crisis and build toward an enduring, something more enduring. The United States has been leading international efforts to get more humanitarian assistance to Gaza. Tonight, I'm directing the U.S. military to lead an emergency mission to establish a temporary pier in the Mediterranean on the coast of Gaza that can receive large shipments carrying food, water, medicine, and temporary shelters. No U.S. boots will be on the ground. A temporary pier will enable a massive increase in the amount of humanitarian assistance getting into
How are we
Gaza
going to build a pier in Gaza if we don't put people in Gaza?
Babies.
And Israel must do its
They're
part.
not people?
Well, no, but they're
Israel
babies,
must
so they'll be on
allow
ships.
more aid into Gaza and ensure humanitarian
my
workers
God.
aren't caught in the crossfire. They're announcing they're going to
rebuild, we fight.
They're going to have a crossing in northern Gaza. To the leadership of Israel, I say this: humanitarian assistance cannot be a secondary consideration or a bargaining chip. Protecting and saving innocent lives has to be a priority. As we look to the future, the only real solution to the situation is a two-state solution over time. And I say this as a lifelong supporter of Israel. My entire career, no one has a stronger record with Israel than I do. I challenge any of you here. I'm the only American president
I don't know about that.
Yeah, that's
There is
pretty bold.
no other path that guarantees Israel's security and democracy. There is no other path that guarantees Palestinians can live in peace with peace and dignity. And there's no other path that guarantees peace between Israel and all of its neighbors, including Saudi Arabia, with whom I'm talking. Creating stability in the Middle East also means containing the threat posed by Iran. That's why I built a coalition of more than a dozen countries to defend international shipping and freedom of navigation in the Red Sea. I've ordered strikes to degrade the Houthi capability and defend U.S. forces in the region. As Commander-in-Chief, I will not hesitate to direct further measures to protect our people and our military personnel. For years, I've heard many of my Republican and Democratic friends say that China is on the rise and America is falling behind. They've got it backwards. I've been saying it for over 4 years.
Oh, that's a lie.
America's rising. We have the best economy in the world. And since I've come to office, our GDP is up, our trade deficit with China is down to the lowest point in over a decade. And we're standing up against China's unfair economic practices. We're standing up for peace and stability across the Taiwan Straits. I've revitalized our partnership and alliance in the Pacific. India, Australia, Japan, South Korea, the Pacific Islands. I've made sure that the most advanced American technologies can't be used in China, not allowing to trade them there. Frankly, for all this tough talk on China, it never occurred to my predecessor to do any of that.
I don't know.
It was drug swear off.
We want competition with China, not conflict.
It should be over. I would hope it'd be over pretty soon.
The conflict of the 21st century against China than anyone else for that matter, than any time as well.
Real quick.
Okay.
Here at home, I've signed over 400 bipartisan bills. But there's more to pass my unity agenda. Strengthen penalties on fentanyl trafficking. You don't want to do that, huh?
Okay. Jody's out.
Pass bipartisan privacy legislation to protect our children online.
What was that?
Harness.
Pass bipartisan privacy.
Harness the promise of AI to protect us from peril. Ban AI voice impersonations and more. And keep our truly sacred obligation to train and equip those we send into harm's way and care for them and their families when they come home and when they don't.
Okay.
That's why the song Support and Help of Dennis and the VA, I signed the PACT Act. One of the most significant laws ever, helping millions of veterans exposed to toxins who now are battling more than 100 different cancers. Many of them don't come home, but we owe them and their families support. We owe it to ourselves to keep supporting our new health research agency called ARPA-H. And remind us that we can do big things like end cancer as we know it, and we will. Let me close with this.
Oh, it's closing. Yay.
Don't even assume that.
I know you don't want to hear any more, Lindsay, but I got to say a few more things.
See?
I know it may not look like it, but I've been around a while.
Oh, God.
When you get to be my age, certain things become clearer than ever. I know the American story. Again and again, I've seen the contest between competing forces in the battle for the soul of our nation. Between those who want to pull America back to the past and those who want to move America to the future. My lifetime has taught me to embrace freedom and democracy, a future based on core values that have defined America: honesty, decency, dignity, equality, to respect everyone, to give everyone a fair shot, to give hate no safe harbor. Now, other people my age see it differently. The American story of resentment, revenge, and retribution, that's not me. I was born amid World War II when America stood for the freedom of the world. I grew up in Scranton, Pennsylvania, and Claymont, Delaware, among working class people who built this country. I watched in horror as two of my heroes,
Scranton.
did,
Grew up in Scranton.
Kennedy, were assassinated. And their legacies inspired me to pursue a career in service. I left the law firm, became a
It's
public defender
self-enrichment.
because my city of Wilmington was the only city in America occupied by the National Guard after Dr. King was assassinated.
What are you doing?
Because of the riots. And
Tapping board.
I became a county
Oh,
councilman
okay.
almost by accident.
I know.
I got elected to the United States Senate when I had no intention of running at age 29. Then vice president of our first black president. Now president to the first women vice president.
Been a politician all my freaking life. That's wonderful. Congratulations. We should never, ever have this.
He had
In
no
my
intention
career,
of running until somehow
I've
won
been told I'm
elected
too
to the
young.
Senate.
Yeah, exactly.
By the way, they let me on ascended elevators for
I'll
votes.
win this
I wasn't
election. No
trying
big
to
deal.
run.
Not a joke.
Wasn't even trying to win this election, and I won this
I've been
election.
told I'm
I didn't even put my
too
name
old.
in the hat. I don't know how they all voted for me.
Whether young or old, I've always known what endures. I've known our North Star. The very idea of America is that we're all created equal.
Well, that's
We deserve to be
that's
treated
some
equally throughout our
unintelligible
lives.
mumbling.
We've never fully lived up to that idea, but we've never walked away from it either. And I won't walk away from it now. I'm optimistic. I really am. I'm optimistic, Nancy. My fellow Americans, the issue facing our nation isn't how old we are, it's how old are our ideas. Hate, anger, revenge, retribution are the oldest of ideas. But you can't lead America with ancient ideas that only take us back. You lead America, the land of possibilities. You need a vision for the future and what can and should be done. Tonight you've heard mine.
Why is he so angry?
Defending democracy.
You should not hate.
I see
No
a
hate.
future to restore the right to choose and protect our freedoms, not take them away. I see a future where the middle class finally has a fair shot and the wealthy have to pay their fair share in taxes.
Oh, God. Same old crap.
I see a future where we save the planet from the climate crisis and our country from gun violence.
Crime crisis?
You did stay away from that
Above
most of
all,
me.
Yeah, he did.
I see a future for all Americans.
But he's so
I see a
angry.
country for all Americans. And I will always be
That's
president for all
his
Americans.
go-to emotion
Because
is
I believe
anger.
in America. I believe in you, the American people. You're the reason we've never been more optimistic about our future than I am now.
What about all the people you invited
So
in?
let's build the future together. Let's remember who we are. We are the United
It's like
States
anger
of America.
speech. See, I mean, look
And
at
there is
this.
nothing beyond our capacity when we act together.
Even when he's trying to be
God
optimistic,
bless
he
you
sounds
all,
like he's
and may God
angry.
protect our troops. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Keep it going when Stevie knows his way out of the building.
Yeah, right. He probably doesn't know which way. Oh yeah, he's gonna be like, which? Oh, do I go? Or where am I going here?
Where's my handler?
Yeah, she's up in the balcony.
That was a weak looking handshake too.
Yeah, it was. That happened. Got no more sound. Oh, there it is again. Huh. Huh. I'm sure there's. Wonder who's doing the Republican response.
Per the Constitution, that is the only political statement he is required to make. And he could do it by letter. And I wish he would.
And I don't. Well, yeah, exactly. I mean, it's not. I mean, they don't even. In the Constitution, there's not even a time when you're really supposed to do it, is there? I mean, it's just once a year.
Once a year he has to address Congress with the State of the Union, which is supposed to be a synopsis of where we're at now.
Right.
And every one of them just turns it into a campaign babble.
Oh yeah. I mean, it just for the first 20 some minutes, he didn't even say anything. Can we here? Yes. I wonder if PBS will have the response.
Great job, Mr. President.
Public broadcasting shouldn't have and now we get the
I've been in constant contact with Iran. Here's what I worry about with Ukraine. If we pull away, the rest of Europe's going to pull away. They're looking for us.
oh
I
yeah.
spent
I'd be curious to. I want to know what the heck happened with all the yelling and stuff earlier, because that was nuts. And I know who it was. I can tell you exactly who it was. Do you know who it was?
No.
MTG.
Really? I didn't hear a female voice in that.
Oh yeah, no, it was. Oh, stop! Get off this. Why wouldn't they have the response? State of the Union.
Rebuttal. There it was. There. No, that's 2020.
Oh no, 2020. Gosh darn it.
There it is. And
President.
Republican response.
Yeah, I gotta make sure I'm not stealing some.
Here's one from C-SPAN and Republican response.
Yeah, C-SPAN, you can't.
Well, little bitches.
I know. I looked it up yesterday. Oh, let's see. Who are they watching? See, they're watching C. Let's watch them watch C-SPAN. You say?
No, you can't broadcast a public presentation that we're airing publicly
Right.
for the money we're not getting for it anyway.
Yeah, exactly. I'll just do it anyway. Live, yep, we're live. Hopefully I would think C-SPAN would have the Republican response.
Why would they care what a Republican has to say?
Who, C-SPAN?
Yeah.
I probably don't. Actually, they're not too bad sometimes.
All right, I'm gonna have to settle for the photograph on this one.
Yeah, are you done too?
Yeah, I can get off my.
Okay. Oh yeah, I gotcha. Okay. Well, we could call it good there. Heck with it.
No, it wasn't good.
All right, so.
We'll call it crap.
No. Okay. Yeah. All right. So we ended up. Let's look at our counts. We ended up with 25 lies, which I'm sure we missed a bunch. 3 half truths. That seems low too. 7 gaslightings. Probably about right. He didn't actually mention MAGA, but he did say that. There was 1 Republican evil. 7 glitches.
He cast Republicans in a poor light several times, even though
yeah. All right, except for Republicans. He didn't say let me be clear of those.
No, he had a different phrase.
Yeah. And then 8 unintelligible mumblings. I think we missed a few of those too.
I'm disappointed.
I'm sure there were more than 8.
I didn't get the mumbling sort of trailing off as,
right.
You can tell he's gone out of sync.
Yep. No, exactly. I didn't see any of those either.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
You gotta wait till he's on the campaign trail, I guess.
Yep. Pretty much. All right. Well, let's call this crap.
Yeah.
At least I got rid of the echo. I mean, God.
They were
It
shouting
was
4 more years. I was like, is that what?
No,
What's that,
exactly.
survival plan? Is that your survival plan? What is that?
That's exactly. And that's what Kat had texted me. Is like, he's talking about he's going to do something that's going to take a decade. He's not even going to be here.
Yeah, he doesn't have a decade left.
Most likely not.
I mean, he's already dead, just still up walking around.
Oh, goodness. All right. Well, we'll be back tomorrow night.
Just look how blank those eyes are.
Oh, I know. The light's flickering. But I'm pretty sure that was the one. So the one, there was a bunch of yelling that happened. It was pretty early. It was probably like 25, 30 minutes into it.
Yeah, I remember the same time we were calling out lies, someone else did too.
Yep. Yeah, no, that there was a MTG in there for a while. Like, she was one of the ones that went off for a bit there, I bet you. And if you look in the news later, you're going to see it was her, because that's a distinct voice.
Yeah.
And then people, the one where people were like going back and forth, that was her for quite a while. I'm pretty sure. We'll talk about it tomorrow. We'll look it up tomorrow. How's that sound?
I gotta watch this again?
No. Just we'll look up who was the one doing the yelling tomorrow. Not gonna watch this again. I promise. There's no watching it again.
Because we were about to have words.
No. Okay.
All right. Tomorrow then, I'm out.
I'm gonna call it. Okay. We will talk to you guys tomorrow. Okay. Good night.